Hi guys, my name is Brayden. Welcome to my channel. I thought I would give filming another chance. I've really have wanted to do it. I've just been too scared to do it. I made a video a couple years ago and I really liked it, but I was too nervous to put myself out there and continue to do more. This is my first ever talk through video, so just give me any tips or comments down in the comments down below. And let me know what you think. Here is today's look. If you like, just keep on watching. Hi guys, let's get started with this makeup look. I'm first going to start off by priming my eyes. I'm going to use the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. And I have my mirror set up right down here below the camera, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. I just use my finger with this. I'm not too picky. I've already moisturized my skin as well. I use the Tarte H2O, something like that. I can't remember what it's called. H2O something. Hydration maybe. I'm going to use some Scotch tape just to put on the outer corners of my eye, just where I can get a really sharp line. I put it on the back of my hand to remove some of that stickiness. I'm just going to follow my lower lash line up to my brow bone. Into my brow, I should say. So today I am going to be using the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette. It's quickly become one of my favorites. I'm first going to take this Sigma E40 brush and I'm going to put it in this light brown shade right in the corner, tapping off the excess. And I'm going to start in the outer corner and just kind of blend it all over. Starting with it in the crease, that's where I want most of my pigment, but kind of just blending it all over the whole lid. So next I am going to take, I will take a Sigma Blending E25 brush. It's kind of dirty, I used it, sorry about that. But I'm going to go right into this shade Princess, this like light purpley color right there. Tapping off the excess. And I'm going to do this right under where we kind of applied that last one, kind of in the crease. And so now I'm going to pick up a Morphe brush. It's kind of like the Sigma E25, except this one's a little bit more tapered and pointed at the end. So they're really similar, same shape. This one's just a little bit more tapered, which I think can help get it more precise. So now I'm going to go in with this Royal Prerogative, I think is what it's called. Tap my brush in there, hit off the excess. Now I'm going to stick with this one more in the outer V, going into the crease just a little bit. Grabbing some more for the other side. So I'm going to bring this into the lid just a little bit more inwards. On each side. And then we're going to go back in on the E25 Sigma brush, picking up just a little bit more of that Princess shade, and then we're just going to blend that all together, kind of going back where we first started with that shade. I'm going to use that same Morphe brush that has that tapered point on it. I'm going to go in with the shade Duchess. It's that darker brown, has a hint of purple to it, but right in here. And again, right on the outer corner. And kind of following my lash line, I'm going to bring that shade kind of down. And you can also follow that tape up a little bit. Starting in the outer corner because that's where I want most of the product. Gonna bring it up just a little bit and then follow that lash line. Alright, I'm going to go back in with that Sigma E25 and we're just going to blend. Make sure there's no harsh lines or anything like that. This is the brush we used for that princess shade. I didn't pick up any extra product, just using what's on my brush, just blending out all the edges. We're going to do the same thing with the Sigma E40, just right above that, kind of going into our brow bone area, and just going to blend, make sure there's no harsh edges at all. So now moving on to my lid. I think I want to use Royal Highness. It's kind of this really shimmery purple shade, silvery purple shade right here. And I don't think that I'm going to go in and wet my brush, at least not right now. I might in a little bit. Now this does have fallout. That's why I like doing my eyes beforehand. It's just something that I prefer to do. I just prefer to always do my eyeshadows because then the fallout doesn't really bother me. And I'm using patting motions more than I am sweeping motions. So I'm really packing on that color. And I'm putting that all over my lid, from the inner corner to the outer corner. So I'm going to go back in with that tapered Morphe brush, and I'm going to go back in with Duchess. And we're just going to touch up that outer corner, bringing it, over our eyelashes, kind of blending it out. So I'm going to kind of tap off the excess even more on this, not picking up any more product, tapping it off, and I'm going to slowly kind of bring this up into the crease, just a little bit. So I'm bringing it about halfway. I'm not going all the way into the inner part of my crease. And same thing on this side, just slightly bringing it over about halfway. Back in with that Sigma brush. I'm going to blend right over that again. This is a Coastal Scents brush. I don't think I got it out of a little brush set a couple Christmases ago. Now I'm going to go in with that crown shade. And we're going to use this right in the inner corner. Kind of bring it up just a little bit onto the actual lid. And then we're going to do the same thing going into my tear duct. And then slowly just kind of bringing it up on the lid. And then we're also going to put that shade under my brow. I'm just grabbing my E40 again, and I'm just going to blend that out. No harsh lines. Then we'll do the same thing to the other brow bone. I'm going to go in with that Duchess shade one more time, just to really deepen up this outer V here. Alright guys, I think that does it for the eye look. I'm going to peel off this tape now. And you see how sharp that line is? That's why I love using tape. Alright, now we're going to move on to my face. I'm going to use two different primers today. I'm going to start off with the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer. And I'm kind of going to keep this in my T-zone where my pores are the biggest. Again, just going to use my finger. And we're going to put a little bit up here in the middle of my forehead. And then I'm really going to just press this in, like kind of push this primer in. Helps fill in those pores. and just really getting that in. Alright, and then for the kind of the outer parts of my face, I'm going to use the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. Then I'm just going to use about 2 pumps, maybe a pump and a half. And then just kind of blend that in with my fingers. For today's foundation, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Warm Nude. And then I'm going to be using a Morphe sponge. It's the red one that kind of has the flat ends, and then it has the pointed like egg shape on the other side. I like to apply the foundation with the flat side, and I'm just going to do a couple pumps. Almost out. Let me get another foundation on my sponge, and then I just like to slowly tap it all over my face. And then use pressing motions to really press that foundation in. And really get around your nose. I feel like a lot of people forget to get up around their nose. And then another reason I like this brush is because it's really straight here. I can get right under my eyeshadow there where we have that really sharp line and really press in foundation, and I don't have to worry about losing that sharp line that we worked for. Then kind of bringing this up the side of my nose, and then kind of up into the hairline here. I feel like I have a medium coverage with this right now. I want to go a little bit more full, so I'm going to grab just a few more pumps of this and then really build up where I want more coverage. And then I'm going to bring it down just a little bit onto my neck. Just a little bit. And then also kind of on the edge of my ears here. You don't want to have like white ears and then like more of a tan face. I feel like a lot of people forget to do that too. And then just whatever is left on my sponge, I'm going to bring down my neck just a little bit. Foundation's done. I'm going to go in with concealer. I more like to use concealer to highlight and to make myself look more awake. I don't really use it to actually conceal. So I'm going in with a lighter shade. This is in Fair, and this is Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Down my nose, Cupid bow, and then a little bit on my forehead, and on my chin as well. And then I like to do my concealer with the more like rounded end, and then I just like to press that in. Just be careful with this in or up around that eyeshadow. And then I kind of like to bring this kind of right on the side of my nose. Alright, next I'm going to powder my face. I'm going to use the Bare Mineral Bare Pro in the shade Cool Beige. It's a little bit dark. I mean, I think the light's kind of washing it out, but it is a little bit darker. So I am going to bring it down my neck just a little bit. And I'm not going to set my concealer with this. I'm going to stay more on the outer side of my face. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm using the e.l.f. I think it's called Flat Top Kabuki brush. I don't know if they sell this anymore or not. I believe that they do, and I think you can get them at Walmart for like $3. I love this brush. I go back to it all the time. And I'm just going to set my whole forehead with this. feel like this adds too much more coverage. I use it more just to kind of set my foundation, so I kind of use it more as just a setting rather than like an actual foundation. Alright, to set my concealer, I'm going to use the Tarteist Contour Palette. I think this is the original shade. I do think that they have different shades of this now. And as you can see, I love, love, love this matte highlight shade. And number 1, I'm just going to use a Sigma tapered highlight brush. It is an F35 brush. And then I'm going to kind of look up and then really press this shade under my eyes here. I like to use this shade just because it's a little bit lighter than what that powder foundation was. And so I feel like it really helps open the eyes, make you look more awake, and highlight the face. A little bit right in through here. And we're going to stay with this palette to contour. This is a NARS Ita brush, so it's like the knockoff. I got this off Amazon for like $3-4 bucks maybe, and it's looks almost identical to the NARS Ita brush. I'm going to start out with the lighter contour shade, and I'm just going to get this all over my brush and then tap it off. And I'm going to start at the top of my ear and then just kind of bring it down. You can actually see where I have a natural contour at. See, if you can see that on you where it's like a natural shadow, that's where you want to put this product. So I'm just going to kind of follow it down from the top of my ear to the corner of my mouth, but we're not going to go all the way down. And then we're going to blend up. Whatever is left on the product, I'm going to kind of bring it down my jawline. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to pick up some more product, tap it off, and then follow the top of my ear. We're still going to go in with that lighter shade, tap it off, and then we're just going to follow my hairline and kind of contour my forehead. Alright, now I'm going to just go into that darker one, and I'm just kind of using the very edge of the brush here, not putting it flat. I'm kind of going in sideways with it, tapping it off, and then we're just going to darken up that contour. I'm not going to put it as far down or as far up as we did the last shade. Alright, and then I'm going to wipe that brush off, and then no extra product. Then we're going to kind of flick it up just a little bit, but still not as high as we did the last one. And then I'm going to do like a mixture between the two, because this one's a little bit too light, this one's a little bit too dark for me. So I'm going to tap that off, and then we're just going to really get the sides, or my jawline here. Kind of blending that down my chin just to hide that little double chin I got going. So we're just going to kind of blend it down my jawline. Hopefully my contour isn't looking too harsh. In person it really isn't looking too harsh, but I am going to pick up this more yellow tone shade here with that tapered highlight from Sigma again. And we're just going to put this under that contour. I'm going to kind of use this brush to kind of blend it out. In person it's really not looking as harsh as it is on camera. For blush, I'm going to use the Tarte Big, what is it called? Big Blush Book 3. This is the first year I've been able to get my hands on this. They sold out before I could get it the last 2 years. And I'm really happy to have this. I absolutely love it so far. So I'm going to go in the shade Rad, right here. And this is a Coastal Scents brush as well. Came from that same brush set that I got a few years ago for Christmas. I really like it. swirling that into the product. I put a lot of product on. I love my blush. So I'm really swirling it in there. And then we're going to tap off the excess. Then I like to start on the upper side of my cheek and then kind of pull that down. And then again on the other side, really tapping it in. And then I'm going to tap that brush off just a little bit more, get any excess that I can off. My brush fell. 1 second. So, with the remaining blush that I had, it looks like there's a lot on there. There's really not that much left on there. But with just what's left, I'm going to go right under my bronzer. I just like to do this. Not a lot of people, I don't see hardly anybody ever doing this. But it's something that I like to do. Just whatever's left on my brush, I like to go right under where we kind of bronze our forehead and put that blush there. I feel like it gives it even more of like a suntan, which I know that it's fall here, it's getting cooler, but I don't know, I really like that more warmth on my forehead, so I really enjoy doing that. Alright, so now what I usually like to do is do my brows. And I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Deep Brunette Brow Stylist Frame and Set. It comes with its own little brush, and it has a spoolie on the end. So I'm just going to go in with that. I just like to dab it in there just a little bit, a few times. Make sure I don't have any clumps. And then I like to brush my brows up. So I'm going to try to stay in frame, but forgive me if I'm looking down, but I'll try to stay where you guys can see. So I like to start on the bottom half of my eyebrow, kind of right in the middle. And I like to start on the outer half just because that's where I want my product to be the darkest. And then once I feel like I got that kind of out to the tail, then I'm going to come back up to the top right before my arch. And then we're going to follow that down. And then just kind of fill in the back half of my brow with what's left on my brush. And then without getting any extra, I'm going to kind of put my brush sideways. Start in the front and then kind of feather it over. And then we're going to kind of just brush it all together, brush my hairs back the way I want them. So my front of my brow is looking a little bit harsh, so I'm going to take up that Morphe sponge and just kind of pat just the front of the brow. And I feel like that really helps kind of just lighten it up a little bit. I'm going to do the other brow. And I'm going to kind of brush them up just a little bit, just to get a more like feathery, natural look. Just more on the front half. And then the, middle to outer I'll kind of bring up just a little bit and then kind of down. Alright, now I'm going to go on to eyeliner. And for today's wing, I'm going to use the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. And I like to start with my left eye, just because it's a little bit harder for me to do. So I like to start with my weaker one and then move over to my right one. Again, my mirror's down here, so I'm going to try to stay in frame. Just bear with me. I'm going to kind of follow that eyeshadow line from the tape. Okay, I'm having a bad liner day, so just ignore my liner. Blend this out just a little bit because I'm not loving that right there. Okay, so now I'm going to put eyeliner on my lower lash line, and I'm going to use the Rimmel Scandalize Waterproof Kohl Kajal. I don't know how to say that. Eyeliner in 001 Black. Okay, now we're going to do my lower lash line. I typically like to start with the Sigma Pencil E30 brush. It's dirty. I use it all the time. I need to clean my makeup brushes. Don't judge me. And then I'm going to start off with the shade Princess. I'm going to get that all over this brush, really get that pigment on there. Tap it off, put more on, tap it off. I don't know what my process is. Starting in the outer corner. And just really blending it all the way across. This is my least favorite part of makeup. I hate doing my waterline, eyeliner, no problem. But my lower lash line, dragging the, I guess, the hairs of the brush, I hate it. Alright, and then I'm going to go into the shade Ladyship with that same pencil brush. Getting it all over, tapping it off. And then I'm going to go in with that Sigma E25 that we used with Princess, I believe, earlier. Then I'm going to go in with this lighter brown shade right here. Tapping it off. And then just kind of going a little bit further from my lash line, just kind of blending those colors out. So I think I'm good with my eyes. Alright, now I'm going to move on to my highlighter, and I always like to go on with MAC Fix Plus before I do my highlighter, just that way it pops even more. So I'm just going to spray this all over my face. Oop, it's on lock. And then I'm going to go in with this really old, I think it's Bare Essentials brush. It's really old. I just love the way this applies my highlighter. Can't get over it. Travel size even. Super old. And I'm going in with an old school Becca Opal. I haven't used this forever. So I'm just going to tap my brush in there. Getting a lot of product all over my brush. And then tapping it off. Starting on the upper part of my cheekbone. And then just blending it down. Okay, I'm just kidding. Get more and then don't tap off because a little bit on my Cupid's bow, on the tip of my nose, and then sliding it up. Get more product. I'm trying to make it a little bit of a C around my eyebrows. Oops, I dropped another brush. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with that little tiny shader brush. I'm going to pick up some of that opal with it. I'm going to apply this right in my inner corner. So now that I got my highlighter on, I like to go and set my face with some makeup setting spray. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, and take a bath in it as well. And now I'm going to do mascara. I'm using the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara. It's in this gold packaging. The brush looks like this. I just put it on my hand, guys. The brush looks like that. Oh my gosh, guys, I love that mascara. Look at it. Alright guys, I'm running out of time, so we're going to make this quick. I'm going to do my lips next. I'm going to go in with Rimmel, what is it called? Innocent. It's just one of their little cheapy lip liners. I'm going to put this all over my lips. Okay, again. And then I'm going to go in with Kylie Cosmetics Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Birthday Suit. Alright guys, that completes this look. Thanks for watching. If you made it till the very end, I appreciate it so much. I was so nervous making this video, and I hope that you really enjoyed this look. Leave me any comments, suggestions, any tips, anything that you guys would suggest or like to see, just leave down in the comments down below. And thanks for watching. Bye guys.